Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, today we are having the second lecture on Swami Vivekananda's Jnana Yoga. Though all these ideas are present in Vedanta, that is in Upanishads, or in Bhagavad Gita, exclusively as the four means or the four paths to reach the ultimate reality. This was made famous at the universal acceptance as a means which was achieved by Swami Vivekananda in the recent days. In the previous class, we did try to discuss why do we need religion, and there were some reviews and also some messages I received from quite a few people that Swamiji, it was a very wonderful lecture. Why? Because you have given the what is religion in 3E. What is religion? People, a lot of, a lot of theories and a lot of big books which can be used as a pillow. Like such big books has been written, and we don't have so much time sometimes to read. But you gave in a very nutshell. So, what is religion? Religion is what? Experience of the self or experience of the reality. The second is religious means expansion. Religious means evolution. So, why do we need religion? So, 3E. So, one person had messaged me. So, after discussing, now today we are supposed to discuss the real nature of man. This is the second lecture Swami Vivekananda gave in London, actually. When I was thinking about this, when I preparing a flyer for this today lecture, when I was just typing the real nature of man, immediately I remembered, if I put this real nature of man, then some people who are heading the feminist movement, they may come, then what about the real nature of woman? So because it is a gender biased. But in those days, of course, when they say man, it was always human being, not of any gender. But in these days, the things have changed. Then I was thinking, what should be done? Then with the permutation combination, I was trying to think. Then I thought, better just to put our real nature. So that's how the real nature of man, Swami Vivekananda has given a lecture under the title, The Real Nature of Man, just I have modified into our real nature. Now, when I was studying this, a couple of times I have read, and when for preparing a lecture, when I was studying, so many ideas at very broad way, Swamiji has discussed. If you have studied the history of religions and history of civilizations and the history of the evolution of human thought across civilizations and religions, then Swamiji's every sentence you can really appreciate and really you can, enjoy. Such a huge philosophies which goes after pages has been condensed in few paragraphs or in few sentences by Swamiji. That is the beauty of it. And also, if you see, Swamiji is discussing the Vedantic concept. Maybe if you have studied the Kathopanishad or the Mandukya Upanishad or Mandukya Karika, you'll be able to very well remember what Swamiji is speaking or what he is teaching or talking. But still, in such a way that he has spoken, even today's modern mind, the rational mind or the scientific mindset people or even the atheist can understand, accept, and appreciate. That is the beauty of Swami Vivekananda's Vedantic ideas. Or just maybe there's a saying in India, old wine and in the new bottle. Old wine in the new bottle. So that's what when we study Swami Vivekananda's philosophical ideas, Vedantic ideas, which are very, 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 very ancient, but he has given in such a way that even today's modern people can very well understand, accept, and appreciate. The first question may come for all of us. Swamiji, Swami, you are saying that our real nature, and you are trying to discuss what is our real nature. By studying, what do I get it? And one of the opera singer who was very famous in few years before, few decades before, Yama Calway, I think she was from US, no doubt. She, because she lost her only one daughter during her middle age, she was a celebrity. Thousands of people used to follow her, and she was rich. She was probably millionaire. But because she lost only one daughter she had, and she lost, her life became so much burden for her. Though she was able to sing, and a lot of people were following her, it became so heavy. The life became so heavy. She was in a thought. She was in a fix that she has to end her life, or means basically she wants to suicide. At that juncture, she came in contact with Swami Vivekananda, and she heard few lectures of Swami Vivekananda on Vedanta, and her mind got completely changed. Instead of suiciding or ending her life, she started enjoying her life. Now you see, she didn't had any new daughter, new baby, or the died daughter. She didn't come back. But still, there was no change in the external situation. But still, there was the internal change, or the change in the mindset, the change in the attitude, the change in the perception. That's the reason her quality of life got improved. And Nikola Tesla. Tesla means all we remember Tesla vehicle and whatnot. I'm not speaking about that. Here, Nikola Tesla, who is one of the great scientists, we all know that. He got a lot of ideas which helped him for scientific innovations when he discussed with Swami Vivekananda, with Sankhya and other philosophies. And Rockefeller, we all know that Rockefeller has found out a beautiful foundation. I think today also it is supporting a lot of people, giving scholarship and etc. He was great, one of the great industrialists in those days. And when he came into contact with Vivekananda and his ideas or his views, he was a millionaire, no doubt, but he became a philanthropist. Why? Because of the what is the influence of Swami Vivekananda and his philosophy. So, why should we study Vivekananda, or why should we understand Vivekananda's views, ideas on Vedanta? What will happen? If you ask, you may be a married person, bachelor, or a monk. You may be a political entrepreneur, or economist, or a doctor, or engineer, or you are a middle-aged person, or a young, or a old, whatever it may be, whoever, in whatever walk of life we are having, but all of us can be having a better life. We can have qualitative life. That is the reason we have to study Vivekananda's Vedanta, which very clearly he gives a roadmap for us. How can we live happily? How can we live peacefully? So when I say that, how can we live peacefully, or how can I live happily? It is, immediately we think that, okay, oh, Swami is giving an idea. How can we change the world? How can we change the people in and around? How can we change the situations in and around? No, I am not speaking of external change. I am speaking of internal change based on Swami Vivekananda's ideas. So the internal change comes, then what happens? Then you will be happiest man. Probably I'll give a simple example, my own experience, and afterwards I would like to go to the topic. Everyone knows Ludo. Once, four people, the place where I was staying in India, I was sitting and the four people were playing Ludo. And why we were playing Ludo? Just because fun, to have a fun and to pass a time and to have just a good gathering as a part of gathering. Fine, we were all playing. So in beginning it was all fine. We were all talking and chatting, and we were all playing and all. Slowly, the competitive spirit, it got increased. It got tensed. Oh, he is, what you say, he is coming and squashing my coin. I am supposed to squash. I am supposed to do him. I'm supposed to protect from him, like that. So the whole game feeling went away, the competitive spirit came. So if it was healthy, that's fine, but it was not healthy even sometimes, and a lot of stress, competitive. How can I save from him, or how can I squash him? All such type of things came into picture, and whole of this 20 minutes or 30 minutes we played a game, Ludo game, and that fun went away, and a lot of tense and stress came into picture. So when I was just playing, my mind started, because already by that time I was exposed to Vedanta a bit. Then my mind started thinking, look how funny it is. We started playing this just to have fun. So that, okay, I was reading, someone were working, someone had some work. So from all that we wanted to get away, and we want to enjoy, or we want to have some basically free time. As a result, we took this Ludo game, but unfortunately, what happened? Even in this fun game, or we started getting stressed, and we got strained relationships sometimes, or we got unnecessary agitated and all these things. But afterwards, if you see, that was just it was a game. No money will be brought from that. I'm not going to fetch any money if I win in the match. And I'm not getting any name and fame. I'm not getting any position, better position. If I am for an example, assistant manager, I'm not going to be a manager. I'm not getting anything actually from that. But still, I was so much stressed and strained and vexed up or whatnot. This is what sometimes our life is. That it gave a what you say, that time, at that moment, it gave me an insight. This is what our life is actually. From our birth to death, we are experiencing so many things. For example, I think I keep on giving this example. When we were small, probably myself and my sister would have fought for a doll. My father brought me two dolls of same shape, same type, and all. Only the difference was what? Color. Both have same price, made up of same material, looks same shape, same weight, same volume, everything except change in color. But probably just for that color, myself and my sister would have quarreled, and would have got beatings, we would have scoldings, whatnot. We would have cried without food, and we would have slept that night. And now, after 20 years, if if I witness the same incident, I feel laughing like that. Why? That was not at all matter of concern, but still I had a concern, and whatever. It became so serious. Now it has no more serious concern for me. Why? Because there's an intellectual growth. My perception, my attitude, my thinking, everything is changed. Means the whole of life, whatever we are saying, that which is important, which is not important, all these things belongs only about our perceptions, about our attitudes. And still Vedanta says that satyatva buddhi, what is real, what is real. So this is what very important for all of us. The moment when we remove this value of reality for anything and for any person, then it doesn't matter at all for us actually. Again, there's a funny story. One person, he had some problem. Always used to lose the pen. He used to purchase a pen, and used to take, and used to travel often because of his profession, and used to forget all the time. The price is not too much, but somehow he used to feel so unhappy about it because of his forgetfulness or irresponsibility. He is go on for forgetting, and is losing the pen, though it might €1 or €2. Then once, with one of his friend, he asked, "Look, this is my problem. I'm losing my pen always. Means because of forgetfulness, because I travel a lot. I want to get away from this problem. What can I do?" Then his friend said, "You purchase the costliest pen." Then he said, "What? Already I've got a problem that I'm losing a pen, and you were saying that you purchase a costliest pen. How does it, how is the solution for my problem?" He said, "Why? Because now it is €1, €2. It is not of much value. Even if you lose, you don't bother. Now, say for an example, €50 or €80 pen you purchase. And once you lose, if at all, then it really brings pains to you so much. And from next time onwards, your mind becomes alert so that you will not lose the pen." Though he agreed, but it was not sure. He was not sure, but still he purchased the costliest pen and he started using. And in no time, he started. I mean, the problem of forgetfulness, the problem of negligence was taken over. It was. I mean, he was able to win over. Why? Because it's a costliest pen now, 50 euros or 80 euros. I lose it, so he was very careful. See, because the value I give for the pen because of the money, that's why I never lost it, or I was careful enough. So, what is reality? It is very much important. Sometimes we give reality for this body, sometimes we give the reality for the mind, sometimes we give the reality, the value. The reality means the value for an object, for relationships. That's where our life governs actually. This is what Vedanta is saying that. So, you are giving the reality to the matter or to the mind. So, shift your reality from the matter and mind to the self. What Vedanta is asking, it is only change in the mindset. It is only change in a perception, change in an attitude. What is that? You are giving the reality or the value to your body and mind, shift from there to the self, then all our problems ceases to exist. Then all your problems ceases to exist. Why? Because I am thinking that I am body and mind, and this whole world and its objects or the house is, it belongs to me, it is mine, that's why I'm suffering. The moment you shift the reality from the matter to the soul or the self or the consciousness, all our problems, all our puzzles are solved. That is what exactly the whole essence Swami Vivekananda is going to deal in this particular chapter, the real nature of man. Just I've edited the topic and I've given the title of this today's talk is Our Real Nature. And Swamiji, very interestingly, like opening batsman and all we speak, and any, for any example, any lecture or any singing or any concert, I mean, musical concert and all, whatever the first song they sing, it is very important. That creates an ambience, that creates a view or an impression in the people's mind. Now, Swami Vivekananda, when he started this real nature of man, as a starting point, as a starting idea, he took a beautiful idea. Probably it was not possible for any of us other than him. You know why? Because problem of death was the first idea he started his philosophy or he started his talk. Imagine. Problem of happiness, problem of life, problem of enjoyment, all these things we all speak, be positive and etc. Swami Vivekananda, he started his talk on based on the problem of death. The problem of death is indispensable for all of us. We can never get away. Since there's a problem of death, we need religion and we need philosophy. Because why do we need religion has been already spoken. So Swami Vivekananda elsewhere he tells beautifully. Till religion, I mean, why do we need religion or why do we need God? Till death exists in this civilization or in this empirical world, no one can get away from the religion and from the self or the soul or God. I mean, religion means it is not organized religion I'm speaking. Religion means it is the path for self-realization. And very interestingly, one of the French philosopher, he speaks, when he discusses about the philosophy, he mentions that there are the three essentials of the philosophy. What was that? The first is theory. And theory comes from a Greek word. So what is theory, actually? That means it is ultimate truth which I can see. Theory means it is all like it is with full of dogmas and practices, or it is full of ideas. Most of the time we don't understand. Such type of ideas we have got, most of us. But if you see the etymological meaning of the theory, it is what I see as the ultimate truth. What a beautiful idea. When I heard this, immediately I remembered during, as a novice, when I was reading Indian philosophy, when I was reading Radhakrishnan, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan's Indian philosophy ideas, he beautifully starts his narration of Indian philosophy as the view of darshana, reality. And he beautifully discusses what is difference between Indian philosophy and Western philosophy. Indian philosophy is always, it has tried, all Indian philosophies have tried to speak what is ultimate reality and what is the view of it, what is the view of reality and how to reach it. And whereas the Western philosophy, if not all, mostly it is an intellectual gymnasium. That's what we have got a established view in the classical philosophy when we study as the students of classical Indian philosophy and Western philosophy. But when I heard this French philosopher discusses the theory that it is nothing but the ultimate truth, I would like to see, then actually even ancient Oriental and Occidental philosophy, both are also having the same view, but we are not able to understand. And he brings one more essential point is ethics. What should we do? What should not we do? And the third thing he says that salvation. He speaks of death and salvation are more or less. So Swami Vivekananda has also started his philosophy, starting that what is death, the problem of death, and why do we need a philosophy? And while discussing the death, I am not going to details, just I'm giving the, what do you say, the purport, the essence of it. He tells that why should we discuss death? Because I would like to exist in any form. Because even the Upanishad says, Vedanta Sar also says that. Why do we need children? Because through children, I think that I am existing, I am continue to exist through my children. And if you see in Indian mythology stories, the demons and all, they used to do penance for thousands of years. Then Lord Brahma used to, the creator God used to appear and he asked, my dear son, what do you want? Oh Lord, thank you for appearing and please give me boon. What is that? I should live eternally. I should not have any death. Then there's a routine dialogue. Brahma used to say, oh my dear, whoever has taken birth, he has to die. Even God is not spared. When God comes into this earth, he has to die. He has to leave his mortal coil. So no one is spared. So except that you ask anything. Then they used to ask all permutation combinations and see that the death will not come to them. But somehow there would have been loopholes, and through loopholes, they used to always face the death. What does it mean? So we always see, we would like to exist in this mundane world eternally with this body and mind, which is not at all possible. So after much of struggle, what do we understand? The death is certain. Though we all know that death is certain, but we are not ready to accept. The moment the death, when we speak, the fear of death is taken over all our mind. Even the scripture says that the greatest fear in this world, in this empirical world, is what? The fear of death, which is called abhinivesha. So now, human being, as a civilization, or as a generations, and every religion has tried to address this problem of death. And they have given answers. How can I overcome this death? Going to heaven, doing sacrifices, doing ancestral worship, or doing some different penance, or by helping people. So many ways they have discussed so that we can try to probably overcome the problem of death, which is called immortality. And that immortality is my real nature, which Vedanta says. So I want to be immortal. How can I be immortal? This is what every religion is trying to speak in different languages. And also he gives a beautiful example of Kathopanishad. Swamiji was the lover of this Kathopanishad because it's a beautiful Upanishad, which is very poetically described. And also they also discusses about the self-knowledge, starting with the problem of death. A young boy, he meets Yama, who is the lord of death. And Yama was pleased by his students' behavior and conduct and all. Yes, what do you want? He asked one or two first boons something else. And as a third boon, he asked, look, I have heard that some people say after death, nothing exists. And some people argue after death, nothing exists. So some say something exists after death, and some say after death, nothing exists. And you are the Lord of death, you know things better. So please tell me what is reality? Then Yama said, oh my dear, this is the root of all the knowledge, which is called Brahma Vidya, self knowledge. This is very subtle. Even the, what you say, demigods or angels, celestial beings are not aware of it. So, except this, you ask anything else, I would like to give. What is that? If you want, I will give that. You can, thousands of years you can live in this mortal world, and you will have a good wife, good children, great grandchildren, and with enough property, with a kingship. All so much things he tell Yama. And but Nachiketa was so discriminative and he was firm in his thing. He said, if you want, you give me whatever I have asked, otherwise I don't need. Then Emma was very pleased by his answer. And Emma says that I was testing you whether are you fit person for Vedanta. You are fit person for self-knowledge. Now I see that you are fit person. You are not carried over by the desires. And afterwards, Emma teaches the self-knowledge and he understands and he experiences the self-knowledge. As a realized person, he comes back to this empirical world. And Swamiji, he explains in a nutshell. And afterwards, he says that. That means what? We are all want to be immortal. So the problem of death, he starts, and so slowly, he brings the concept of immortality. I would like to exist eternally. How can I exist eternally? So through this body and mind, this physical body and mind, I cannot exist. Okay, maybe in subtle form. That's where the concept of heaven comes into picture. And theistic religions, they speak of heaven, and in the speak, I mean, in the heaven, they have got a concept of eternal heaven and eternal hell. That's where the judgment, the concept of judgment day also comes in Islam and Christianity. And afterwards, he says that, this immortality has been misidentified or misunderstood, that if I've got a materialistic progression, materialistic possession, I can be happy at all times. Blissful, happy, profitable, all these things we use synonyms. But after some time, after struggle at the fragment of my life, I understand that whatever I get from this world and its objects are from the sense world, they have got limited in nature. I think one of the psychologists has beautifully pointed out, whatever you try to get from this world, it gives a lot of promises. That's how we live our life, with promises. But once we get it, then whatever the expectation, the happiness we were expecting, that much we don't get. Simple example, probably in this today's modern world. First time when we take any mobile, even a basic handset, we are so happy. But afterwards, we don't stop there only. First, I took a mobile, just a simple basic model, Android mobile. I was so happy, as if the heaven is in my hands, and I start enjoying. Then after 2, 3 days, 5 days, 1 week, I will put a status and I will try to tell to the people. I will try to advertise myself. I've got a mobile. I enjoy. After a week or so, then if you see the amount of joy, the intensity of the joy which I had from the mobile, it starts getting reduced. Then afterwards, yeah, I have got a mobile. That's it. Then my mind seeks after some time. If, I mean, financially, if I'm sound, then I should go for the higher version. Okay, some best model, some better model. Okay, I took it. Then better futures are there. Then I take a selfie, or I can take the photo. The quality of the photo is nice. And I also probably put in the WhatsApp status and Facebook and social media, share with known people. I'm so happy again. For some time, again it comes down. Then someone said, you take iPhone, that is the ultimate in the world. Then we take iPhone. Then again we feel heaven is on my hands, on my palms. After some days, I will just throw the iPhone on my bed and this is enough, this is a nonsense. You see, like this, everything, whatever we expect and we try to work hard and we try to get it, after some time, it doesn't give happiness, the same amount of happiness, the same intensity which used to get, it is no more. So it is giving always promise. In this promise only the whole world is going on. But actually, in this limited world, you don't get the expected happiness. It only says that better luck for next time. Better luck for next time. This is what one of the psychologists said. When I read this, I felt so happy that though I don't know whether he studied Vedanta or not, but he's telling Vedantic truth. And because of this promise we are getting from this world, of course, world is not giving actually. It is only our mind is giving. That is actually pulling us in our life. Now, based on this immortality, Swami Vivekananda puts one more question: How can I be happy? How can I be blissful? How can I be peaceful at all given point times? Then he brings the beautiful idea of nihilism, shunyavada. Nihilist says, don't think of past, don't think of future, just be at present. Of course, the mindfulness, whatever they say, the present, there is different. The nihilist, they say, what don't think about past and future, just think about present. There's two different things. So we should not get confused of mindfulness and be at present. And Swami Vivekananda simply scratches. He says that this is an utterly nonsense. Without thinking about past and present, past and future, we can't think the present at all. It is illogical and nonsensical from philosophical view. So definitely, this is an insane idea. He says that. Then afterwards, he discusses that Greek philosophy, from Babylonians, ancient Babylonians philosophy, Egyptian philosophy, Chinese philosophy, all in the cryptid way he has discussed. Whoever studied deeply only will be able to understand. Some part of Hindus, Christians, and he brings a beautiful concept that look, all of these civilizations and religions have accepted that man is a degraded being. What does it mean? Man is a degraded being. Means whatever the state the human being was there, and he has fallen from that place. Whoever studied the Bible, Old Testament in the Bible, everyone of us, we know that Adam had the forbidden apple. He sinned. That's the reason he sinned. As a result, we are all the children of him, followers of Adam, or the children of Adam. That's why we have all sinned. That's why we have to take the, what you say, the Jesus Christ or the God's help. Again, on the lighter side, because Adam ate the forbidden apple, that's the reason we have all this problem is there. So on the lighter side, I say 3 apples have changed the world actually. 3 apples have changed the world. One apple is what? The Adam ate the apple. That's why the sin has come, the whole world, and we are all going. The second apple is Apple phone, iPad, all these things, second things. The third is, there's an interesting story, Newton discovered the gravitational force. And when did he discover the gravitational force? He was sitting under the apple tree, it seems. He was sitting under the apple tree. Just he was thinking probably, or he was spending his time, or he was killing his time, or whatever. Just apple fell on him accidentally. Probably, if we would have been below the apple tree, and if apple would have been fallen on our head, what would I have said? Oh, thank you. And would have probably, without caring for hygiene and all, just would have enjoyed the apple. But Newton, of course, is a scientist, is not a person like us. So he was always thoughtful in nature. So when the apple fell on him, he started thinking, why did apple fall down? It would have been stayed there, it could have gone up, or it could have gone hither and thither. Why did it fall? So this, why did it fall down? Why did it fall? Why? This question he holded, and his mind caught that, and he started thinking, cogitating, contemplating, and he discovered, or he invented gravitational force. Because of the gravitational force, there's a huge change in this empirical science. So that's why I say always, 3 apples have changed the world. The Christianity and the Jewish religion, Islam, everyone accept this about this Adam's eating forbidden apple. Now the same thing, in a very poetic style, even in our Indian scriptures, Hindu scriptures, they have told in Puranas. What is that? In the Kruta Yuga, people were so well. There were no locks for any house. There were no doors. Everything was open. There was no lying. And there were no calamities, natural calamities. And diseases were not there. And people had the ability to live as long as they wish. No diseases even. Because they were all such a pious-natured people, good-natured people. When they thought they will die or they will leave this mortal coil, they would have left, it seems. I mean, such a perfect world was there, which was based on the truth. Then afterwards, when you say Treta Yuga, during the Rama's time, the declination of dharma, the declination of the values, the erosion of values came into picture. Then Dwapara Yuga, the erosion of values got increased. And now in this Kali Yuga, in this present age, my goodness, not to speak of. So much problems and etc. etc. All these things are there. That means again, whatever the man was there, there is a degradation in the values, in the thinking, and in the ethics, and in the morality, and all the philosophy. And afterwards, he takes a very beautiful idea and he discusses about the two important points: religious superstition, that we all know, that we all speak about it, religious superstition, and he also makes an interesting comment about scientific superstition. Probably none of us might have heard this. Religious superstitions, we know that, oh, you go to that particular well and you fetch a water and you take a bath, holy bath, then your skin disease goes away, or your sin go away, your evils goes away, or you go to the particular temple and you do something, it will go away. So many beliefs are there. Whether they are superstitions or not, there's a different issue. But we have got superstitions in every religion, in every culture, in every society, in every civilization. And Swami Vivekananda says there are also, in the modern period, people they keep on criticizing religion in the name of religious superstitions, and they say that they are very scientific and very rational. But I don't think they are. They are because they are also fools in the name of science, scientific superstitions. Now, how to understand this? It is a very interesting point. I think when I was thinking about this, just it came this atomic theory. When we were students, when we were studying, whoever studied the different atomic theories, you will be knowing that. In the West, especially, though in India, Canada had given thousands of years before this atomic model, atomic theory. In the West, first and foremost, the first scientist, J.J. Thomson, he gave called plum pudding model on the atomic theory. Then the whole world appreciated it, acknowledged it, accepted it, and yes, this is the right. Then afterwards, Newton, with the example of the Goldstein theory or whatever example, he gave a different philosophy, or he gave a different theory, different ideas about the nuclear model. Then the whole world said, yes, J.J. Thomson was not right. He was not complete in his thing. Now Newton is the right. Then afterwards, there are so many scientists have come, so many models and so many things have been changed. And every time the new scientist has negated the earlier ones, or he has improved the earlier scientist models, or views, or perceptions, or theories. And we are keep on accepting it. Now you see, science searches for truth. It is verifiable and it is experimentable. That's why science is true. And whereas the religion is not true, we say. And just you take one example of this atomic theory, if you see, this keep on changing, keep on changing, keep on changing. So even science also has got science superstitions or scientific superstitions. Now afterwards, he brings the theory of evolution. Darwin, we all know that natural selection, survival of the fittest, all things. And Darwin says that human being has been evolved from the amoeba, from the unicellular organism called amoeba. From their multicellular organism, human being has come from there through like birds or reptiles and mammals and all these things. And human being has come, multicellular organism. We all accept the theory of evolution based on the Darwin's theory. Swami Vivekananda doesn't accept, saying that survival of the fittest can hold good only to the animal kingdom, but not the human kingdom. It should not be. And afterwards, he makes a beautiful insight. He brings he makes a mention of it, and he goes further. Actually, he brings the concept of involution, which is very unique only to the Upanishads, and no other philosophy and no other religion says about it. Theory of evolution, we all know that from amoeba, your human being has been formed. We all know that today. The whole world knows that. And he says that based on the Upanishads, he says that just like from amoeba, the Buddha, or the Jesus Christ, or Vivekananda, or me and you, every human being has been emerged. This is what the evolution theory says. Fine. That also proves, that also involves that the Buddha or the Jesus Christ or every human being or a scientist even, they were involved, or what do you say, in the subtle form, they were existing in the amoeba. This is what theory of involution. which is very scientific, which is very rationalistic, which is very unique, even a great challenge for the science also, which we have not discussed much about it. So we have discussed about theory of evolution, and he discusses also theory of evolution also presupposes theory of involution. It is a great philosophical idea. Maybe sometime I will take up. Now I will go there. And afterwards, he brings again one more scientific theory that this theory of evolution is cyclic, which our Hindu philosophy has said, and which is very rational. Whoever has studied different philosophies and civilizations and this evolution theory, most of the Western concepts are linear theory they give, which is not rational and which is not scientific today. We have accepted, we have understood. Only the Indian philosophy, either Puranas or the, what you say, the Upanishads, they believe in cyclic theory. Now, all these theories need a lot of understanding, lot of studies. Only I'm making a mention and I'm going further. So the Indian philosophies tell beautifully the theory of human being is cyclic. What do you mean by cyclic? It goes up and down, it goes up and down. This is what the theory of evolution and involution also says about this cyclic theory. So man is the evolution from the amoeba. That also presupposes that the perfect man or the great saint or a perfect human being was also involved, or he was in a subtle form, he was existing in the amoeba. Then afterwards, again, he takes a beautiful scientific concept between matter and energy and consciousness. Even today, so many theories and so many scientific innovations has been happened in the Western world with regard to consciousness, and they are not able to come to the conclusion. And just if you ask me, they are always speaking about the reflection of reflected consciousness. That's all. They have not gone really to the consciousness, according to me. Now, Swami Vivekananda, 125 years or 130 years before, he has discussed all these things in a very subtle form, in a very seed form. He discusses what is energy. Means he wants to come to soul. That's why he has taken this idea of energy. What is this energy basically? How this energy has been formed? Some say that energy has come out of nothing. Even the Christian theology says that. And he says that no, that is not scientific. It cannot be. Because no energy can be created, no energy can be destroyed. We all know that today, as per the conservation of energy, we all know that. Then what is energy? Today, science also has understood and experienced the condensed form of energy is nothing but matter. So the energy from the self or the soul or the consciousness, energy has formed. From energy, the matter has formed. This has been told 5,000 or 10,000 years before from the Sankhya philosophy. That they use from Prakriti, Guna actually. And Vedanta says that from Brahman, energy comes, that is called prana, and prana, matter comes. And while discussing, Swami Vivekananda says that today science is not able to understand. In future, it may be able to understand how the matter has been formed. Matter has been formed from the energy. And how this energy has been formed or developed, if you ask, strictly speaking, it is not neither developed or created or destroyed. But whatever, if it comes to exist, if at all, at some point of time, it has come from the self or from the awareness, which is very subtle in nature, which science is unable to understand. And afterwards, he discusses what is this physical body? How do you define it? Oh, it is what do you say? This physical body is made up of different organs. Fine. Then you go a bit deeper. It has got skin, bone marrow, muscles, blood, fat, filthy items. Fine. When I ask you to go to still little go inside or little go deeper, then we say it is all made up of atoms. So it is the aggregate of atoms has been, it is so intense or so, what you say, tightly it has been arranged one after another. That's how this form has been appearing. Otherwise, it is nothing but aggregate of atoms actually. And now the Vedanta says that it is nothing but the aggregate of 5 elements: space or ether, fire, water, then what do you say, the earth. It is aggregate of 5 elements. Then afterwards he says this 5 elements has been formed from the force. That is what energy. So since he was speaking with Westerners, he gave the idea of the force in the place of energy or in the place of prana. And he brings the concept of subtle body here. This physical body has been formed from the subtle body. What does he mean here? Subtle body means it is nothing but mind. So from the mind, this body has formed. Very interesting point. That means what? My thoughts have formed my physical body. My thoughts have formed my personality. My thoughts have formed my character. My thoughts have formed also my perceptions and attitudes. We all understand these things. But Swami Vivekananda goes to the extent saying that my thoughts, my mind also has formed this even physical body, gross body, so called, but we are not able to understand. That's what Vedantic seers, the Rishis have understood and they have told, and which is again rational and scientific. Why? Because when the mass is able to produce from the energy or the force, the and the mind is what? It is nothing but part of subtle body. The subtle body is made up of subtle matter, means it is again form energy, and the Vedantic ideas just uses in the very nutshell form. Then afterwards he says that the matter is the outcome of force or energy, but the force is not the product of matter. And today science also has to agree. And beyond this, there is something else which is called self, which is called Atman, and which is called Brahman. That is what the real nature of the human being, real nature of every being, and that is beyond self. I mean, that is beyond body and mind. That is beyond matter and energy, and which is neither be created nor destroyed. So till then, Swamiji Vivekananda gave a background, and now he starts discussing beautifully about the nature of the self. So that is what the real essence of a human being. That is the real nature of man. Not I am a like student. I am a what you say graduate, or I'm a political entrepreneur, and I'm so and so. I'm so and so. All these things we say. These are upadhis, external adjuncts. These are not my real things. Not my real biodata. My real biodata is what the self, which is called Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. Then beautifully, Swami Vivekananda, he mentions about dichotomy theory of Western philosophy, trichotomy theory of the Indian philosophy, and how this subtle body works and mind works, and how this mind is the reason for my formation of the body. And what about the self? What is the nature of the self? What is the nature of the body and mind? All these things. So we shall try to discuss in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.